Hi everyone, welcome to Lawyer Up by NDV Law. I am Attorney Karlo Nicolas, a senior partner of Nicolas and the Vega Law offices. Today, we're going to discuss about how to make a last will and testament that is valid under Philippine law. Let's talk about the governing law first and the types of last wills and testaments in the Philippines. In Article 783 of Republic Act No. 386, also known as the Civil Code of the Philippines, a will is defined as an act whereby a person is permitted, with the formalities prescribed by law, to control to a certain degree the disposition of his estate to take effect after his death. Now, under the Civil Code, there are two kinds of wills which a testator may execute. The first type is the holographic will, and the second type is the attested, ordinary, or notarial will. Article 810 of the Civil Code defines a holographic will as one that is entirely written, dated, and signed by the testator himself. This kind of will, unlike the ordinary type, requires no attestation by witnesses. The notarial will, on the other hand, is the kind of will which requires an attestation clause, which is an acknowledgement before a notary public. The execution of an ordinary or attested or notarial will is governed by the Civil Code, particularly in Article 805, which states that every will, other than a holographic will, must be subscribed at the end of the will by the testator himself or by the testator's name written by another person in his presence and by his express direction, and attested and subscribed by 3 or more credible witnesses in the presence of the testator and of one another. The testator, or the person requested by him to write his name, and the instrumental witnesses of the will shall also sign, as aforesaid, each and every page thereof, except the last, on the left-hand margin, and all pages shall be numbered correlatively in letters, placed on the upper part of each page. The attestation should state the number of pages used upon which the will is written, and the fact that the testator signed the will and every page thereof, or caused some other person under his direction to write his name, or in the presence of the instrumental witnesses, and that the latter witnessed and signed the will and all the pages thereof in the presence of the testator and of one another. If the attestation clause is in a language not known to the witnesses, it should be interpreted to them. Let's note the personal appearance required under the Civil Code of the Philippines. You see, personal appearance before the notary public is required in a notarial will. So in addition, the ordinary will must be acknowledged before a notary public by a testator and attesting witnesses. And when the testator is a deaf-mute, Article 807 further requires that he must personally read the will, if able to do so. Otherwise, he should designate 2 persons that will read and communicate the contents of the will in a practicable manner. On the other hand, if the testator is blind, the will should be read to him twice. Once by one of the witnesses, and second, by the notary public before whom it is acknowledged. Let's discuss when mistakes will be allowed in a will. You see, with the foregoing requirements, there is what we call substantial compliance, and this rule is contemplated in Article 809 of the Civil Code. It says that in the absence of bad faith, forgery or fraud, or undue and improper pressure and influence, defects and imperfection in the form of the attestation or in the language used therein shall not render the will invalid if it is not proved that the will was in fact executed and attested in substantial compliance with all the requirements of Article 805. Therefore, as long as substantial compliance is met, the notarial will be considered valid under Philippine law. We have now discussed about how to make a last will and testament which is valid in the Philippines. If this video has been helpful to you, kindly hit that subscribe button. You can also visit our Facebook page and our website, ndvlaw.com, for a wealth of legal resources. Again, this is Attorney Karlo Nicolas of Nicolas and the Vega Law offices, and thank you for watching Lawyer Up by NDV Law.